Winless without Embiid no more. Sixers break that trend and get the victory in Orlando tonight as we welcome you here to Sixers Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Amy Fiddle, Jim Lynam, and Mark Jackson. And gentlemen, we saw that everybody had to step up, and you look across the box score and you have contributions from so many different players. I mean, Jim, everybody down. Marcus Morris, obviously you're looking at guys like Mo Bamba in there, Paul Reed, who got the start. It was really a complete team effort.
Yeah, they had really excellent balance to the scoring game, which if you don't have, 30-plus points in the person of Joel Embiid, that's what you need. And I think they complemented that with terrific defense down the other end of the floor. I like their game plan. They were really determined to make Orlando score from the perimeter. And as good as Orlando is at driving the ball to the basket and getting into the paint, they are not a good shooting team. And that was very evident in this game.
Yeah, 9 for 33 from beyond the arc. Overall, just 39% from the field. But you're looking at 6 guys in double figures for the Sixers. And defensively, the only reason the Magic got to 90 is because there was a prayer of a three-pointer put up by Jet Howard, the rookie, down there at the very end.
Absolutely. What I learned about the Orlando Magic team tonight, they literally try to bully people. Ben Carroll, Franz, they really put their shoulder in the people, and they use their length to their advantage. But it did not work tonight. Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris did a great job, and Marcus Morris Sr., they did a great job of letting them young fellas know, not in this house, buddy, not in this house.
Marcus Morris, 6 of 14, that's 43%. And you mentioned Tobias Harris. He's a guy that, we started off the season so strong, and then he fell off a little bit, maybe still trying to find his role at times. But the last 3 games, Jim, you're looking at 30-plus, and then 20, and then over 20, and then over 20 tonight. That's the kind of aggressive Tobias that the Sixers need if they're going to be successful down the stretch.
Yes, Aim, and that graphic we put up when we were at the timeout showed the reason why, the difference. When Tobias gets shooting opportunities, he scores the ball. It's that simple. And he's up getting opportunities. Now, again, Joel Embiid not being here the last 2 games, it's understandable. But you can't, as I said, he has to find a middle ground. You can't go from averaging the previous 5 games to his real, breakout game the other night. He had averaged 8 shots per game. And that's simply, it's not good enough for Tobias Harris, and it's not good enough for the 76er team.
That's a good point. Tobias Harris, an aggressive 10 of 23 for 22 points. Here he is afterwards.
Well, tell a friend that Tobias Harris is scorching hot right now, baby. 3rd consecutive 20-point performance, and your squad has needed every one of those points. Tobias, what's been working out so well the past 3 games?
Just being aggressive out there, taking advantage of the opportunities, and just flowing with the team. I mean, I think for us, obviously coming off the last game, we knew how hard we played. We didn't get the victory, but coming in here tonight, we knew this is a young and a really good team, and we knew we were going to have to bring our all and continue to just use our pace out there and get stops. I thought in the second quarter, we did a great job of just locking in, and all the way in the second half, I thought we just pulled it all together.
Tobias, we know you played here. Is there a certain level of comfortability playing against a former team in the building that you're familiar with? Is that something that's in the back of your mind when you play the Magic?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I think, even yesterday we had practice, and it was in the practice facility that, this is a place that I came in and, got an opportunity to make my career at one point. And, just being back here is comfortable, and being on this court, obviously there's different faces and different people in the organization. But at the same time, just to be somewhere where I started, and there's definitely familiarity for sure.
Well, speaking of being familiar with this area, Paul Reed, your teammate B-Ball, the Central Florida Player of the Year back in his high school days, got his first double-double of the season tonight, Tobias, after a tough one in South Beach a couple of days ago. So what's Paul doing this year that's standing out to you?
Man, I feel like he always plays well in Orlando. He's always had great opportunities here, and I thought tonight he just came out, took advantage of his minutes. The production we got from Paul Reed, from Mo Bamba tonight was huge for us with the big fella being out. We need those consistent efforts throughout the season.
You spoke of the big fella being out. This is a scenario we don't want to be in, but how encouraging is it after going 0-4 to finally get your first dub without the big fella in the lineup?
Yeah, I think obviously, with that, people have to understand that takes patience and time as well. I mean, we don't practice without him and whatnot, so it takes time for us to adapt. He's such a focal point for our offense and, more importantly, also for our defense. So it just takes time to recalibrate and figure out ways that we can be successful. And tonight you saw a lot of that.
Yeah, good one tonight. Congrats on the win, Tobias. We'll see you on the plane.
See you.
Tobias talking about the comfort level, obviously, between he and Paul Reed. Paul Reed playing his high school ball right down the road, and Tobias playing 4 years with the Magic, saying they practice in the gym that he really kind of cut his teeth in. And so he has a certain comfort level, but you're seeing him kind of grow in this role. We've seen him have so many different kind of iterations of his game since he's become a Sixer. He was a starter, and he was the second option, and then he was the third option, and maybe even the fourth option at times, trying to work his way in this offense. But you're seeing him once again take the reins when needed to on a night where, obviously, Jim, with no Joel Embiid and Mark, they don't have those 30-plus points. They needed to have a guy. What did you see from Tobias, maybe really in these last 3 games, Mark, that you liked?
Determination. Determined, listen, I'm going ahead to be aggressive. Forget the plays. How many times they really called the play for him? I don't think it was much. He's taking stuff to his own hands, being aggressive in transition, and making sure he's bullying people. He's getting to the rim. I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that last year he was asked to be a completely different player than he is this year. This is maybe a little bit more of what we expect when he came over from the Clips.
Yeah, one of the things you're seeing in these little clips here, Aim, you're seeing him do a lot of ball handling. Whether it's coming out of the backcourt, you see him here. See him in the half court. He's very adept when you give him a little floor space and let him fool around with the ball a little bit. Whether that's in the half court, see, that's a pick and roll right there.
Yeah,
see, look at right to the rim. Yeah, I think when you allow him some freedom, and I'll tell you what I particularly liked in this game. This was not a great shooting game by Tobias Harris. He was terrific, but he wasn't like shooting it up near his max. And when you have the confidence and the wherewithal to continue shooting 23 shots, that's what his team needed tonight. Good for Tobias. He supplied it.
I love the way coaches worded that.
Freedom.
Freedom. He's not stuck in a corner waiting for the pass to come to him late in the shot clock. He has the ability and the freedom to go ahead and create on his own. And it makes you more comfortable. It keeps you in the flow of the game. You don't have to worry about getting hot and cold because you have the ability to turn it on and off whenever you want.
And we saw in that Raptors game, they had 3 guys with 30-plus points. And if you're looking for the Sixers to be, the true Eastern Conference contender, they're going to need big efforts like we saw from tonight in the last couple of games from Tobias Harris. We all know Tyrese Maxiell is aiming for his first All-Star game. And if Joel Embiid's watching, we know that you want him to be a starter. So 23 points, 9 of 18, another very good shooting night. No surprise from Tyrese Maxiell. Good shooting from three-point. This was a good bounce-back game for him, Jim, because he did not shoot well. 4 for 20 against the Heat in Miami on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I thought watching, to be honest with you, I saw the game erratically. Christmas Day, people coming and going all day long, and as a result, I wasn't able to really concentrate. But watching a lot of those clips, he missed shots that he normally makes, and tonight you see him. He was back to his normal self, making very difficult shots for most people, but not so for a guy like Maxey.
He had 6 rebounds, and some of them are really key rebounds at different points in the game. Mark, when you're thinking about it, it's funny, the only offensive rebound he has was his own miss in this one. But when his assists are down, it's nice to see him doing other little things to kind of get things going.
Yeah, exactly. You find a way to stay in the flow. You find a way to create. You find a way to help your teammates. And when you, it goes back to the Tobias thing, just having the freedom to understand, like, I can do multiple things. As long as I have that capability and I'm allowed to do that, then I shall flourish. And if I'm not getting a bucket, one of my teammates is.
Yeah, 23 for Maxey, 22 for Tobias, 22 for DeAnthony Melton. Those are just 3 of the 6 Sixers players that scored in double figures. All right, we're going to take our first time out. Coming up here on Sixers Postgame Live, we're going to hear from Nick Nurse. It's been a little bit. It's been a minute. It's not since the 22nd that we got to hear this song, so it's our first one post-Christmas. Here's a look at the leading scorers. We mentioned 6 Sixers players in double figures. Pat Bev, you can see down there. Anthony Melton, another nice game from him, 22 points. And Paul Reed, a double-double on basically his hometown. Let's check in now with Nick Nurse after the win in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, I think it felt like we turned them over a pretty good amount, but 16 felt like it was more than that. I thought we had our hands on a lot of turnover deflections or whatever. I don't know. I thought we were really good defensively half court. I thought they back cut us about 6 times for layups early. They got some stuff in transition, but in the half court, I thought we really made it difficult for them. I mean, they really pounded inside the paint, and our guys did a pretty good job of standing in there and trying to make them keep kicking it out. Yeah, it's pretty happy with the defense, especially second half.
Tyrese made some big shots down the stretch, but so did Tobias and Anthony. So on a
Yep.
night when Joel's not available, how nice is it to have all three of them firing at the same time?
Well, it's kind of the first time for that, right? And I thought, start with Tobias. I thought he played really at a good tempo tonight. I thought he really went when it was there. He held up and kind of played with good rhythm when it wasn't and got to spots where he wanted to get. Melt, obviously, we take that 4 for 7 every night from 3. Be good. I think he's a really good shooter, right? And he needs to make some threes for us because I think he's had good looks this year. You talked about Tyrese already, but also Marcus Morris kind of kept the scoreboard moving for a stretch there in the second, which was, that's kind of what he can do. Like, we can get him the ball and he can look him in the eye and hit those jumpers, and he kind of kept it moving there for a while, which was good.
Not just Marcus, but Pat, I believe.
Yep.
Pat as well. What about the overall spark the bench indicated?
So obviously Pat and Marcus played really well, right? I thought Cove came in there. I don't know how many steals he got, but he got his hands on a few, made a couple key steals there. Only got him for 2. And I thought Mo had a really good stint early and rebounded it really well, right? He was. I thought his first half stint was excellent. Good production off the bench.
Nick, I'm just talking about Tyrese. I know you said he drove to the basket.
Yep.
But as a young player, it's good to be able to bounce back like this.
Yeah.
After such a poor performance last game.
Yeah.
A lot about it.
Yeah, and then he picked up 2 fouls to start the game, and he had to sit and watch. So he had another little a little hill to climb there right away. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think that he read the game well. He blasted in there when he saw an opening. He played through some bumps. Got some space for some threes when those were open. We did. You probably saw we got him off the ball a little more tonight. So he was a recipient of some weak side stuff too. So great bounce back. I mean, most guys in this league go through 4 for 20s, right? Most really good players. So he did good to bounce back from it. I'm sure he's happier today than he was a couple days ago.
And another thing, I don't know if they asked this or not, but as far as a confidence standpoint, Joel wasn't here, the first 4 games.
Yep.
One of them was the Boston game.
Yep.
But how does, prepare you guys moving on?
Well, I just think that, we certainly got to find another style to play because it's so different when he's there. And the first couple weren't great, right? And, the Boston game went down to the wire. This one was a good win. We were down 4 and we had 2 free throws and missed them both in Miami with about 2:50 to go. We're almost in a 1-possession game there, and then the next thing you know, it was 9. But we battled pretty. So we're just playing better, I think, is the main thing, or playing well enough to give ourselves a chance to win is the main thing without Joel.
You mentioned taking Tyrese off the ball a little more. He and Pat played together a little more. Was this the best performance that you've seen from the 2 of them together sharing minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always, it's a read of the game. I'd love to tell you that we planned on doing that, and that's exactly the way it worked out. But we put Pat in, and he starts playing well, right, and commanding the game a little bit, running the team and things like that. It's easier to let him, keep rolling tonight. So that was a little bit easier, and they found some rhythm. And I think our guy, we knew, they were blitzing him early. We figured they'd blitz him. I'd blitz Tyrese too. So having Pat and Melt handle the ball to get Tyrese off it, I think helped Tyrese. Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Nick Nurse, a little tongue-in-cheek, saying a lot of the good players go 4 for 20 and then bounce back. But yes, obviously Tyrese wanted to bounce back in this one. But he mentioned the defense specifically in the half court, and that's something I think that really stuck out because you're looking at a team that does not shoot that well, and they really limited them, Mark.
Absolutely. He did a very good job of reading the game plan. Who can shoot, who can't, how we slow that team down. And I'll tell you, I think this Orlando Magic team really flourishes when guys get on the wing. They got athletes, Suggs, Cole Anthony, but they're not necessarily on the ball.
Right.
Franz and Harold are the ones that's on the ball. It allows them little guards to get out and run. And even though they may be 6'3", 6'2", they are able to finish above the rim. So I think them not having the capability to do that versus Sixers, stay with them.